We are here for the grand arrival.
I believe he'll be unconscious inside one round. It's just another day for me. Another day, another fight.
I told you guys before that this fight wouldn't go the distance. I will go out there and get a fans what they want to see.
The biggest fight in combat sports history, Mayweather-McGregor.
Welcome to Las Vegas, Sin City. We're in the fight capital of the world where the fighters made their grand arrivals on Tuesday. Today, it's the final press conference here inside the MGM Grand, the Ka Theater for Mayweather and McGregor. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer alongside my Showtime colleague, the voice of Showtime Championship Boxing. That's Mauro Ranallo.
Hey, because
MMA analyst Brendan Schaub. And, guys, this is the final press conference. Mayweather, McGregor, both coming here. We will speak with both fighters once it is over. But listen, this is expected to be the biggest fight in combat sports history. These fighters have already arrived. You know, the interesting thing is once you get to this point of a press conference, you know, you're at midweek. Usually fighters are pretty low-key until you get to the weigh-in, which comes your way on Friday. But you got a sense when you saw these fighters outside the T-Mobile Arena, the intensity level already.
It's out of 10. It's out of 10.
It's going to be a Spinal Tap 11 come Saturday night.
It might be. I don't know how much bigger it can get. It's like the anticipation for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just – it's unreal, man. Like, I knew the fight was going to be big, but as soon as I touched down in Las Vegas, my driver, the hotel, everyone, it's all anyone's talking about. Like you said, usually around Friday, you get into this mode,
Absolutely.
but it's here. We're here, man.
And social media has really stoked the flames of anticipation. It is the social media era, and let's face it, this was what began as a meme, now once-in-a-lifetime sporting spectacle on Saturday. But you know how I know that this is once-in-a-lifetime? My aunt, who's almost 80 years old, doesn't speak a lick of English, asked, is Morrow calling the fight where those guys are making the ridiculous money?
That's how big it is. It's jumped over to pop culture, man. It's literally the talk of the nation.
You know, and the one thing that I took, especially in their grand arrivals, it was almost like a scene out of West Side Story because one of the camps were arriving, the other camp was leaving. They had that stare down of both camps there. And, you know, Mayweather basically said, I owe it to boxing to knock this guy out and to stop Conor McGregor, whereas Conor McGregor doubled down. Originally on the press tour, he said he intends to stop Floyd Mayweather in 4 rounds. He said on Tuesday, I'm going to stop him basically in a round.
He's making me nervous. He's making me nervous. You guys know. Listen, I'm the biggest Conor McGregor fan there is.
But you know why he's made the switch? Because of the switch to the 8-ounce gloves.
8-ounce gloves.
I think the difference is going to be negligible, don't you?
I think it's a huge thing to talk about. I think people just pass over. It's only 2 ounces. Those 2 ounces mean everything. For both guys, it's an advantage.
Let's start with Conor.
For Conor McGregor, early in the rounds with a lighter glove, he can land that big punch to finish the fight. For Floyd, as the rounds go on, he starts adding up the shots. With 8-ounce gloves, it's going to take its toll on Conor McGregor.
The accumulation of punches.
The accumulation, especially if he starts going to the body early on. As the rounds progress, Conor's going to slow down from that. So it helps out both guys.
Yeah, but Brian,
Conor early, Floyd later.
Conor early, that's the game plan. He has to come out and storm Floyd Mayweather, maybe even rough him up. I mean, and Floyd is not above those coy elbow strikes in the middle. The referee, Robert Byrd, who we know will let you fight in the inside, let you fight out. This could very well be to the advantage of Conor McGregor. But you say when he attacks the body or when he attacks Floyd. Floyd has fought 16 former world champions in his last 16 fights. Mm-hmm. They land less than 20% of their punches, guys. We're talking about world champion boxers.
I hear you, Mauro. Here's the thing with that, and Brian. Here's the thing. When's the last guy that Floyd Mayweather fought that thought he actually was going to win the fight? They're beat
Marcos Maidana, the first meeting?
Nah, not really. And after that, he was beat. Most guys are happy. They're there to get the payday. They're fighting Floyd Mayweather. Conor, in his heart of hearts, believes he's going to win this fight. It means everything to him. Granted, we see the money, the billion-dollar fight, all that. Take that away. Conor realizes he has this huge moment. He literally thinks he's going to win by knockout. So when he says, it's tough for me to give him 2 rounds, tough for me to give him a round, He means that. We get it. People sell the fight.
The only
Conor
reason
means this.
that intrigues me, guys, is like Conor, and I'm reading Conor's stories. It's amazing. Guy was collecting welfare checks less than 5 years ago, and here he is, having said everything. You know, Nostradamus may have a new name. It's Mystic Mac. Everything he predicts becomes prophecy. He said he was visualizing events in his life before he knew what the word visualization meant.
Sure.
I can relate. I actually, at 5, visualized me sitting next to Brian Custer and Brendan Schaub talking about Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. So,
all right.
I get the self-belief.
Yeah.
I get the law of attraction.
He backs it up,
He's
though.
attracted a first-ballot Hall of Fame boxer, one of the greatest defensive fighters up there with Willie Pep, Pernell Whitaker, and a guy who was the best boxer of his era. Conor McGregor has already won. And on Saturday... You know, first round of his professional career, how many rounds Floyd had? Close to 400.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the thing, and it goes to what I think every fan has been asking. Will this be an all-action fight? A number of people said, hey, I plunked down my $100 for Mayweather-Pacquiao. I didn't get all action. If you take these guys at his word, don't go to the refrigerator because it says right out of the gate, these guys are throwing blows.
100%. You hear Floyd, he goes, I'm going to stop Conor McGregor. Now, when Floyd says that, I'm listening to that because, you know, we know Floyd is a counter puncher and he kind of wins rounds.
So is Conor.
Yes, so is Conor. However, Conor has never had a boring fight in his life. And Floyd, he can put the pressure on, especially if he wants to, especially if he sees holes in your game.
Sweet science.
Yes, that sweet science. He gets really aggressive when he wants to. So he's capable of doing that. My whole thing with this fight is you guys know boxing better than anyone. You guys have been some of the best in the world, analysts in the world. You can predict how Floyd's going to fight Saturday night, correct?
Yep.
We know exactly how he's going to.
Judging by the track record, yes.
We've seen him do it 49 times. Can anyone in this entire arena predict how Conor McGregor's going to fight?
But that's
no, you can't.
But see,
that's the X factor.
But it's not. But
that's why
you
the
can't
odds
judge
are
what
swaying.
angles he's going to show. But we know what punches he's going to be allowed to throw. At the end of the day,
it's angles, Morrow.
At the end of the day, the wheel is still going to be round. He's not going to be able. This is a boxing match, my man.
And here's my contradiction to that. If you look at where boxing's at right now, look at the guys who are taking over the game. Lomachenko, he's not conventional. He's mixing up his angles, very dynamic. But Crawford, very dynamic. He's not your traditional boxer. Those are the guys changing the game. So when you get a guy like Conor McGregor, who's even more dynamic than those guys as far as angles, footwork, and distance,
the distances are so different.
Issues.
Can he learn in less than a year, Brian? The fact that Floyd Mayweather's been doing this since the age of 4. You can talk about Malcolm Gladwell, the 10,000 hours. He's a prodigy. He just had to reactivate his muscle memory in this camp. Hey, I want to see an action-packed fight. I want to see a spectacle. I hope to have one of the craziest calls of my career if Conor McGregor lands that punch. I just think it's a huge hit.
He's always maintained that, listen, I grew up boxing.
Yeah.
That's where I started with, and then I transed over into the martial arts. But he had 40 amateur fights. He says he's always trained in boxing, and he loves boxing. You know, listen, he's going to have a number of advantages. I mean, I think when he rehydrates, should be 170. He said so. I'll probably 170, and I'm coming after this guy. You know, one thing I thought was interesting in talking with Joe Cortez, who he's brought into his camp, and obviously Joe Cortez can't say much about what has happened as he sparred and things of that nature. He said, the one thing I will tell you is that every time I've seen him spar, he's gotten better. And he surprised me that he's learned different angles. And he said, you will be very surprised to watch his boxing technique come Saturday.
Hey,
if you talk to anyone in
hope
the business,
is provocative thing.
From Cortez to even Paulie Malignaggi, he has his issues with Conor. But even when you talk to Paulie, he has to give Conor a little bit of credit, too. And he does.
We all give Conor the greatest credit. Conor is an amazing human being, and I cannot think of more encomiums to give him about the mental aspect of the game. I don't know if there's anyone more mentally tough. I'm just saying when it comes to execution, there you go. I just think in this realm, and we've talked about this before, if they go to a street fight, if they go to the octagon, my money is on Conor McGregor. This is under the Marcus of Queensberry rules.
And you know what? And I'd say if you're Conor McGregor, you make this fight as dirty as possible under the rules of boxing.
Correct, but you make it dynamic.
Sure. Exactly.
But people who think he's going to do the Maidana game plan and rough him up and get in there and dirty box, that's not what he does. If you know Conor McGregor, it's all about distance,
He's
timing.
a sniper.
He's
very accurate with that left hand. So is Floyd.
There's going to be about 7 to 8 moments in this fight where they're going to capitalize because Floyd's not going to. He's not going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Conor's. If he's going to make mistakes, Floyd's going to capitalize on it. But if Floyd makes one mistake, Conor has to be in position to capitalize on it.
Now, let's talk about, because this is the final press conference. Again, you will hear from Floyd Mayweather. You'll hear from Conor McGregor in just a few moments. Talk to me about fight week and typically Conor McGregor's demeanor when it comes to a final press conference before a big fight.
Yeah, with Conor McGregor, if you've watched any of his fights before, you know he's going to do some antics. He's always trying to get in his opponents ahead. With Floyd Mayweather, it's tough to get in that kitchen. It's tough to get up there in that kitchen.
But he's going to do his best to sell pay-per-views at this press conference.
They're both going to do their best job. However, you can tell, on the press tour, it's all fun and games.
Yeah.
It definitely sold the fight more so than ever. Now it's a little more serious. Now what they say, they actually mean.
Okay.
And Conor's great at picking what Floyd has said and taking it to another level.
So let's take
talk.
it to your side here, and let's talk a little bit about Floyd Mayweather, because we've seen his demeanor against Andre Berto a couple of years ago, against Manny Pacquiao, against Canelo. How have you seen this Floyd Mayweather? He really, and this is a fight he hasn't had to carry. Generally, he's the one carrying the fight.
He can relax for the first time in 49 fights.
How have you seen his demeanor now leading up to this big event?
It's Floyd Mayweather. Whether, it was 2 years ago or 5 years ago, 10 years ago, he's a gym rat. He lives inside the gym. The lifestyle, he's even saying, I'm going to take the final week of prep and go and party. Well, his idea is partying, hanging out at gentlemen's clubs. He doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs. This guy is a gym rat. And again, I cannot stress enough, a man who was 49-0, rated as one of the greatest defensive fighters ever, holds the CompuStat record for plus-minus over 24. And it's, yes, Conor McGregor is a formidable fighter. And this is under boxing. Floyd Mayweather is a sultan of the sweet science. This guy's going to do just enough with the pull counter. He's going to see the angles. He's going to be able, I think, to read Conor McGregor faster than most people believe, my man. And I just think conditioning is also going to be a factor, because Floyd is never out of condition.
I agree with that, but Floyd can't bring anybody into his camp to mimic Conor McGregor. So the first time he sees it live is Saturday night, just like when we see it live.
But what's he going to do? What's he going to do? The Karate Kid crane kick? I mean, people are thinking he's going to come out with a flying kick.
He's not going to
lose his
box like a traditional boxer.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it tough for Floyd to download.
Yeah, that was interesting, because one of the things that Conor said is that, I'm so diverse. I can probably come out in a traditional boxing stance, but hey, I may come out in a Taekwondo stance.
And but this is the thing, he has the confidence and he's comfortable in that stance. Most guys aren't going to throw from those angles because they don't have the confidence.
Comfortable from that stance, but he can only throw punches. You can't throw kicks from the Taekwondo stance. You can't, and that's angles. Where I think angles, absolutely, but that's where I think Floyd Mayweather as well is in the midst of Conor McGregor, maybe after getting frustrated, starts lunging. That's where McGregor's going to pick him off.
He has to be careful. I agree.
He's going to pick him off.
If he's going to set up shots, he has to set it up. You look at Ricky Hatton, he would set things up and blitz Floyd.
What about that check hook?
After a while, Floyd downloaded that data, that check hook, and put him into the ropes.
Yep.
So Conor does have to be careful. I'm not saying that. I think Conor's a more cerebral, smarter fighter than Ricky Hatton.
Now, let's talk about the fans here, because there were a number of fans that were outside the T-Mobile Arena when both of these fighters made their grand arrivals here to Las Vegas. What do we expect? I mean, obviously, the arena holds 21,000, but, the one thing with Conor McGregor, you're getting fans from all over the world for this fight.
T-Mobile might as well stand for Ireland on Saturday. I have no doubt that Conor McGregor's contingents, the fans it's going to be pro-Conor, and that's going to make for an amazing atmosphere.
That's what makes it so interesting, because if Floyd lands anything, the crowd's going to be kind of silent. If Conor lands a jab, that place is erupting. So the takeaway, to me, interesting with the analysts,
when he attempts to land a jab, the place will be
we'll see, Mauro. Yeah. So you're going to get a heavy Conor crowd, just like on tour. Any city we went to, it's so pro-Conor, which, I'm sure Floyd deals with it all the time, not to this magnitude. Any guy fought to this magnitude.
There's only one guy who earned and will always deserve this right. It's Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about what he's done in his entire life, like becoming the first UFC fighter to hold 2 titles simultaneously, predicting the first-round demolition of Jose Aldo, Chad Mendez, Dennis Bermudez, and even just willing this fight. It was on Conan O'Brien where the question was posed, would you ever box? And like we say, social media took it, began to run with it. Conor McGregor has wished it into being, and you can't convince me of how he can win this fight. I want to believe, because I want to call a major upset.
We are at the top of the hour. Of course, this is the final press conference for Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. Both camps are here. They will be giving their final speak on what they believe will happen on Saturday night. And then as soon as they're done, we're going to speak with both parties here. We're inside the Ka Theater here inside the MGM Grand Arena. I'm Brian Custer alongside Mauro Ranallo, Brendan Schaub. So as we talk and we break down this fight and wait for all the participants to step on the stage here, there are a number of people who've talked about this fight and whether or not it should be short and whether or not it goes long. And if it goes long, they would say obviously huge advantage Floyd Mayweather because he could just box his way. And if you're Conor McGregor, listen, you've only gone 5-minute rounds once.
Yes.
And there are a number of people who said he gassed out almost in that. He got the win.
He still got the win. Fought a bigger guy at a heavier weight.
Absolutely. So it would seem that going past 25 minutes, going past 8-9 rounds, advantage Mayweather.
And I'm not going to argue. I'm not that crazy.
Well,
it is an advantage for Floyd Mayweather there. However, you don't get to Conor's level by not being ready to go 12 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. He's going to be ready. Conor's biggest thing is going to be where to find the rest, because he's been in here so many times. He knows where to get his rest, where to take breaks, where to push the pedal. Conor needs to figure that out, and that's a big X factor too. With Conor, he's never been there before under this magnitude of this fight, so finding his rest periods is going to be key, which I think is what he's going over in camp and bringing Paulie and bringing these high-level boxers, trying to figure out how exactly he can get his rest in.
There are a number of people who say that it is a win. If this thing goes the distance.
That's what I was going to
and
talk about.
And if Conor McGregor, let's say, goes the distance with Floyd Mayweather, goes 12 rounds, that's a win, Conor McGregor.
It's not, but I hear what you're saying. It's in these unique circumstances, going the distance with a guy that, many look at the, people could say, oh, he met Manny Pacquiao 5 years too late. He met certain fighters with prime. He still defeated all these Hall of Famers. And if it goes the distance, then I don't think a lot of people will be pleased, because it will probably be similar to what we've seen, which is boxing at its purest. I hit you, you don't hit me. I make you miss. So I don't know Floyd. Yeah, I don't know Floyd Mayweather. I would hope, as a fan of the sport and the spectacle, I hope they go at each other like Rocky and Thunder Lips.
And the pressure's on Floyd to get him out of there. Knowing what Conor's capable of, if it's just 12 rounds and he doesn't land a shot and Floyd just kind of runs around and goes 12 rounds, that's not a win for MMA. I don't know why people keep saying that. If you know what Conor's capable of and what he's expecting in this fight, that's not a win for us.
We're expecting 120 to what is it, 108? You know what I mean? Like if there's a complete shutout domination, okay. Floyd Mayweather is who we thought he was.
Yeah.
There's two scenarios here. McGregor shocks the world, I don't know how, or Mayweather makes a statement coming out of retirement and gives the casual fans the knockout.
You don't think you can have a war back and forth?
I don't think it'll be sustained.
How about that? This is the final press conference for Mayweather and McGregor here. Both fighters will be on the stage here shortly. In fact, they tell me now 1:15, both of these fighters. Floyd Mayweather is here waiting for Conor McGregor, and as soon as he arrives, we will start the press conference. You say you could see a war going back and forth.
Yeah, I think if both guys want to make this fight what they think it's going to be and what they're talking about it being an exciting fight, I get the pressures on Conor to make it exciting, do his thing. Floyd, I think he's going to ditch the Philly shell and start coming at him.
No.
You're going to get a fight.
He's going to ditch the Philly shell.
He can't do the Philly shell against a southpaw. He's going to get punched in the face. You can't do that. You can't sit against the ropes against a bigger guy
9-0 against lefties
and do that.
A lot more experience
But he didn't
than
use a lot of
Conor.
Philly shell. He didn't use a lot of Philly shell. That technique's going to be trouble for him against a guy like Conor McGregor, because you're open to that straight left hand. And Floyd knows that. So I see Floyd getting him up and going forward.
He's throwing out the fake news on you.
He's
throwing the fake news on you.
Yeah, TMZ over here.
But don't worry, I do not want to fight you on St. Patrick's Day, okay? All right? Brendan, you stay. I value, I know when to shut up.
Are you amazed that we are even here?
I'm not. I think, you have these two titans, these two juggernauts. They both wanted it. The UFC, where the state they're in, Showtime, and you got Floyd Mayweather calls his shots, Conor calls his shots. I called it, man. I hate to be that guy, like, told you so, but after UFC 205, they said, what's next for Conor? I went, you're looking at it. And so for me, I just feel like this just makes too much sense. Yep. It really does. And I think to count Conor out is crazy, and that's why we're here. Because everyone...
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not counting him out. I mean, I have nothing but eternal respect.
I know you're not.
But it's just, it boggles my mind trying to figure out what he can do that 49 others couldn't.
But what about when he knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, or he beat Chad Mendes on 2-day notice, or he beat Nate Diaz at 170? Like, when do we stop doubting this guy?
No, I agree.
Do we do it here? When should we start doing it?
Well, the interesting thing, and I think as a true martial artist, if you are really into the sport, they always say if you've trained well, that no matter what discipline you get in, you should be able to handle yourself, whether it's judo, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's boxing. You should be able to handle yourself. And if you've listened to Conor McGregor, he always talks about his respect to the martial arts and says, hey, listen, I started at boxing, so this is a sport I know very well.
The reason Conor, you have to give him some sort of a shot, even if you're a boxing purist, is because of his footwork. If he didn't have footwork, if he was a traditional flat-footed fighter who just marched forward like a heavy-footed guy, like a Canelo or something like that without footwork, Floyd eats him alive.
Yes.
But Conor's footwork gets him out of a lot of trouble and puts him in a lot of good positions.
I think it also burns a lot of energy for Conor, switching the footwork angle, switching stances. Floyd's even mentioned it.
But that's the boxing purists that are going, when you switch, it's a waste of energy. Is Lomachenko begs to differ. Terrence Crawford begs to differ. All these guys beg
with
to
all
differ.
due respect, you're not comparing Vasily Lomachenko to Conor McGregor as a boxer.
I'm comparing, not as a boxer,
but
as a fighter. Because Conor McGregor switches stance. That's what he does. That's like saying, does it drain the energy of Kobe Bryant when he switches his left hand? No, that's what they do. For another guy who's traditional, of course it's going to wear him out. It's not natural for him. But when Conor can switch back and forth, Floyd has to download that. All right, he's southpaw, different set of tools. All right, he's orthodox, different set of tools. And if he can constantly switch back and forth, we got something here.
Again, we are here at the Cobb Theater inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena here as we prepare for the final press conference between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, which will begin here shortly. The fighters made their arrivals in Vegas, the grand arrivals on Tuesday outside the T-Mobile Arena, which is right down the street. And, of course, that's where the fight will take place on Saturday. You can see it on Showtime pay-per-view. And, the interesting thing, and we talked about it at the top, was just the intensity between these two guys. And I had an opportunity to see Floyd Mayweather as he arrived in here, talk to him a little bit about the fight. And let me tell you something, he was a little flippant with some of his answers. You can already see that the intensity is there.
He's focused.
He's focused.
But he always is.
I'm tired of talking about Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I'm ready to fight.
And that's a scary Floyd Mayweather. Because when people go, he's just a counter striker.
Yeah.
He has soft hands. No. When Floyd wants to get nasty, he has it in him.
Absolutely.
Which to me, and if Conor wants to get nasty and they meet in the middle, now we got something.
But there's the boy who cried wolf, and then there's the guy who sells wolf tickets. We, of course, have heard this before. Floyd Mayweather has said that he is going to it's not going the distance. He owes the fans after Manny Pacquiao.
I love that.
And I agree. I love it too. But when the fight starts, is that what we're going to see when the fight actually starts? Because Floyd Mayweather is a boxing virtuoso.
But he's the reason why he's the best ever is because he's so smart. Mm-hmm. He's not going to rush in and fight Conor like a crazy man because that left hand, you got to respect it somewhat.
Absolutely.
He's going to download his data. And my argument for this fight is, how long does it take for Floyd to download his movement?
Is it a round?
And the data?
Is it a 2 round or 2?
It's not 2 rounds because Conor can mix it up more than 2 rounds. Is it 4 rounds? Maybe 6 rounds? Maybe. I don't know. But when he does, that's when the fight really starts. But Conor has to capitalize on that. He has capitalized on that, on him not being able to download those movements.
Oh, that's interesting. So we've talked a little bit about not only the intensity of both of these fighters and in some of the techniques and the strategy of this fight. And then you look at how big this fight is. And, obviously they're calling it the money fight, that this is expected to be the biggest fight in combat sports history. Mayweather, Pacquiao did $73 million, at the gate. And you just heard Floyd Mayweather as he was talking as he arrived here. He said, right now we are already past $70 million. So he's expecting to do around $80 million.
A man who's used to making money moves like Cardi B, my friends. And Conor McGregor taking a page out of that. And why not?
Money moves.
Making these money. I mean, it is the money fight. It is incredible that at the end of the day, Floyd will cash another 9-figure check. Conor's talking, if all goes according to plan, $100 million. Which then leads me to believe that what happens for Conor, I mean, we've heard from UFC President Dana White that win or lose, Conor McGregor goes back to the UFC later this year. What did marvelous Marvin Hagler once say? It's hard to go and do 5 miles of road work in the morning when you're in silk sheets.
Absolutely. Exactly. That's the interesting thing here. And listen, that's one of the main reasons why we're here. They knew that it could only take the biggest star in MMA and obviously the biggest name, the biggest star still in boxing to bring something like this together.
This is bigger than that, though, because who could Floyd possibly fight that would garner this much attention and this big payday? Who could Conor fight that would garner this much attention and payday? They're the perfect partners. You're never going to see this again in your lifetime. Never. They're literally the two juggernauts finally came together in this perfect scenario, which makes it the biggest fight in history.
And we talked about this too a little bit more, is how in the past it's always been the money persona that's had to sell this kind of fight. Really, I mean, if you're Floyd Mayweather, you just basically had to sit back.
Yeah, absolutely, Conor McGregor. And again, this speaks to the uniqueness and the once in a lifetime personality that is Conor McGregor. And he does make you believe. You walks into a room, he owns the room immediately. And I know John Cavanaugh, Owen Roddy have got him as prepared as can be. And that self belief though is, I think, what is the selling point here, that he has made his legions of fans and the casuals think, wow, this guy could record the biggest upset in the history of sports. I'll shell out the money to watch that.
And I think for Conor right now, it's about not showing any of his secrets, not unveiling anything. So open workouts didn't do much, kind of made a mockery of it, kind of trolled the boxing community. Yeah. And I think for him, it's literally saving it for the show on Saturday night. It's such a major moment
I
in
think
his
you're
life.
right. I agree
He's
that the
saving
boxing
it all.
community overreacted a bit to what he was doing. I thought that was also. I'm not going to show
Warming
you what I'm
up,
about. I'm just
he's warming up his
doing
body.
the McGregor challenge.
Parente.
The McGregor challenge,
Yeah.
and again, Terrence Crawford jumped on, and all these boxing guys made mockery of it. You're making fun of a two-time world champion who's getting the biggest payday than any of you guys have ever got. So I don't know what we're making fun of.
Do you think this is a strategic move by Conor McGregor being late? I mean, this was a press conference that was supposed to start at 1. Now they're saying
we've been around a few
1:15.
Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor press
Is
conferences.
he out Floyd Mayweather right now?
He's out Floyd Mayweather.
How dare you?
Because
Who
Floyd,
does that?
Floyd's actually here.
Floyd was
Floyd's
here.
here.
He was here early. He was a good 15 minutes early.
I know.
And so-
Friendly, ready to go.
ready to go, did some stuff with the media, and we're still waiting for Conor McGregor.
Who out Floyd Mayweather?
You said that this is some of the things when it comes to fight week. Conor McGregor likes to get into his opponent's head and do different things.
He did this with Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz literally just got up and left. I'm not going to play this game. I'm out of here.
This is his way of earning that potential $100 million, trying to just do whatever is possible.
Well, they're telling me that Conor McGregor is arriving here inside, so we should be getting this thing here started very, very soon. And it'll be interesting to hear what these guys had to say, because a lot of it, when you look back on that press tour, a lot of it was propaganda. Hey, I'm going to take you out.
Yeah.
A lot of filth. You had to hit the
Yes.
bleep button.
Yeah.
But now here we are. It's fight week.
It's game time.
It's game time.
It's showtime.
And talk to me generally. What is Conor McGregor speak right before the fight?
Again, he's always trying to get in his opponent's head to get an advantage however he can, but he has to go to another level with Floyd because you're not going to get in there very easily.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what he's going to mock here. He's going to come up with something. It's probably going to be pretty brilliant because we know what Conor McGregor brings to the table. But for Floyd, it's just, for me, it's fascinating to see Floyd walk around here. You can tell there's almost a sense of ease because he doesn't have to do much. He just has to react to Conor up there. He's already sold this thing.
2 words on each, Brian. For Conor McGregor, first punch.
Yeah.
For Floyd Mayweather, easy money. That's what they're thinking going up there. That's seriously, right?
I think you're so off, Mauro. And you're me the first guy you're going to come to me and be like, dude.
I'm playing the role of the other guy on Showtime. I'm the play-by-play guy. I call it down the middle. I promise.
And when you talk with not only Floyd's trainer, who's his father, but even the Floyd's camp, they almost take offense that you don't believe or can't think that Floyd couldn't stop Conor McGregor.
His father was right there when I was going over this stuff, and he was not happy looking at me. So it's listen, I've argued with Julio Chavez Sr., some of the best in the business, and it's no disrespect. I just know what Conor's capable of, and they look at it like, oh, he's 0-0, this can be a cakewalk. Someone's crazy. Whether it's Conor McGregor's camp, they go, this isn't Conor's toughest fight. I hate to tell you. This is actually going to be pretty easy for him. And then Floyd goes, this is the easiest fight of my career. Someone's so off, it's not even funny. So,
and that's caught the imagination of the world, and that's why we're here.
And that goes to a true self-belief, especially when you talk about Conor McGregor, that it's not like he brought in a boxing coach, Virgil Hunter, or somebody, one of the top trainers. He stayed with his regular camp for this fight.
That's what you have to do, because when they told me he was doing a lot of boxing sparring, I was a little worried, oh no, is he going to come in as a traditional boxer? Because that's the easiest payday for Floyd Mayweather. And he's not. Because he's not with an original boxing trainer. He's not with a Virgil Hunter or Freddie Roach. Yeah. He's doing what got him to the dance, the awkwardness, which is what we need.
Yeah, so now here, you know, the interesting thing is, if Conor McGregor comes up with a victory, a number of people have talked about how big is this victory? Is this the biggest upset?
Does Vegas
if you look at the odds right now, but remember, Buster Douglas was 42-1.
He was a 42-1. How about Tyson?
Tyson, of course, 42-1. And now this is not even
what is that, 5-6-1? I think it is right now.
That's nuts.
No, he's down to 4-1 now.
Wow,
he's plus 425.
A lot of money being put.
How about that?
And you heard the Maloof brothers put $880K on Mayweather. Proceeds to go to charity if they win.
Diddy, Mark Wahlberg, those guys. Those guys have got a fight on there.
The swaying of the odds, and I heard the head of MGM.
Why do you think that? Why do you think
there's so much self-belief in Conor? Because if you're familiar with what Conor does and what he's done in the past, what he says kind of comes to fruition.
That's it.
So people, the nation of Ireland, everyone who has followed Conor's career go, God, I would bet on this guy. I've bet on him before. I've doubted him before, and I'm done doing that. I'm putting my money on Conor.
And if we go with
I asked him for the Powerball numbers, by the way. He wouldn't give them up.
If we go with your theory, why? I mean, if Floyd is this should be an easy fight, why all of a sudden now the odds are coming in Conor's favor?
I think people want to. I mean, that's the bet. The odds are there. That's where the money is, and everyone wants a slice of this pie. I mean, it's the money fight. There's a reason there is so much interest, because I believe of Conor McGregor's ability to sell himself and the what if.
But it's not smoke and mirrors, because people are putting money behind the statement. It's a little different if you're just, I think he's going to win, and then you go to your friends like, not really.
Right.
They're actually putting up hard, cold cash to back it up.
Yeah.
Somebody said that.
Number of people will be on the dais here. You'll have both camps. Obviously, the camp from McGregor. You'll have the camp from Floyd Mayweather, as well as the commission. Bob Bennett is here from the Nevada Commission. So all of those people will be on the dais as we get ready to start the final press conference for Mayweather, McGregor, and, of course, the fight will come your way August 26th, this Saturday from the T-Mobile Arena. You can see it on Showtime pay-per-view. So here we go now as we get closer and closer, and you can see the guys starting to fill in. They tell me that Conor McGregor is here. Wants a few moments before he comes out to get
needs a little more time.
Gamesmanship
at the highest level.
At the highest.
It's entertainment, after all. This is entertainment.
And we kind of saw this in Brooklyn. We saw this in Brooklyn, where it was the battle of both camps.
I jumped off the ship after Los Angeles. I knew what was to come. Man. I was like, okay, I'm out of here. I did my time.
Toronto was something special. After that, I aged about 10 years.
I'm with you. But, we saw this in Brooklyn, where both camps, once it was he there? I'm not coming until he's there. Is he there? Well, I'm not coming until he's there.
The littlest mind game you can play makes a huge difference with these guys. The egos are so big.
And we're in a 24-hour news cycle on social media, so we need all the material we can get, right?
And it's kudos to Floyd Mayweather. I thought Floyd would be a little disturbed about how much attention Conor's getting with all the cameras flooding to him.
I think he loves it. He's selling it. He goes, hey, he let him do the sales pitch for once.
Because I think you draw more people in, that check just gets bigger.
Yes.
That checks get. And listen, reportedly, Conor McGregor, over $100 million gross from this fight. Floyd Mayweather, he said he expects to make well over $300 million.
And he should. And they should.
That is just unbelievable. Unbelievable for 36 minutes of work. You know what I mean? So that's why this thing is such a huge event here. And as we get ready for this final press conference here, when you think about what do you think we'll hear from these guys? More low-key now than what we saw in the press tour?
I wouldn't say more low-key. I think they're going to be a little more serious. I think we're getting close to game time, close to the showtime, and I just feel like, Conor's ready to go, Floyd's ready to go. Everyone wants this fight sooner than later.
Yeah.
The weigh-ins are going to be so intense. I can't even imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like. It's time, man. Finally, it is time. I'm so excited, and I just feel like you're going to see today less of kind of an act. You're going to see the true colors of Floyd and Conor.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see how Conor McGregor looks. I know questions, of course, everyone has them about 154. When the negotiations took place, that was to his advantage, right, to go at 154. So, of course, Floyd bringing it up again. All these talking points, but no, I expect what will be maybe the most peaceful press conference we've ever seen.
I tell you what, I tip my hat to Floyd. He's done everything in his power to give Conor all these advantages. To say, it's going to be a fight. Tune in. 8-ounce gloves, 154 pounds. He keeps kind of giving these tools. Be careful what you ask for, though.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a special animal.
And you don't
reverse psychology.
You don't anticipate when we talk about making 154 any problems there.
Zero. Conor's natural fight weight in the UFC is at 155 at lightweight. He's obviously a world champion at 145. That was such a huge cut for him. We didn't see his true potential there because he's so drained. He literally was killing himself to make the weight. 55 is his true weight. So 154. When I saw that, I'm like, wow, look at Floyd. When he fought Nate Diaz in the rematch and the original fight at 70, that's way too big for him. 54, 55, perfect weight.
And we've seen Floyd at 154 before.
Not even make it up against Cotto, against Canelo.
Sure,
the fact that he's fought at 147 a lot. He started 130, so weight will not be an issue with him. The size. We'll see. We'll see what the difference in size will bring.
Most of Floyd's career, we make a big deal about the gloves, and I do think it's a big deal, especially for Conor with the knockout power. But remember, most of Floyd's career was in 8-ounce gloves.
Yes.
Almost all of his fights were 8-ounce gloves.
Do you think Mayweather has knockout power?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think so?
I think it's if he does, I think the chances of this happening are less likely than anything. If he does end up knocking Conor out or TKOing him, it's from the accumulation of all the punches over about 10 rounds.
Now, a number of people have said that one thing that Conor, and you can probably speak to this, is that he will realize, as opposed to an MMA striker where it's wild looping punches, these punches are going to come sharp and crisp, and it's the speed of those punches that's going to sting him and hurt him.
If you're in distance. But the other thing to counter that with Floyd, sometimes he can get out of the way of these shots. He's used to clean.
Sometimes?
Well, he's used to clean, precise shots, right down the pipe. Now, when you're backing out, those loopy shots, that's where they connect.
But
where you can't train for those.
Head movement the same, but see, the head movement in MMA is different because when you do the traditional head movement to avoid punches, you're also leaning into knees or kicks. So the head movement, it's the nuances, the intangibles that I wonder can McGregor not even master, but just become proficient at in time.
And here's
Saturday
a big one
night.
with that. We talk about angles. If Conor gets an angle in MMA, if you get that angle, it's one shot, usually a takedown, or you get out because you don't want the guy to throw anything back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for Conor, it's about getting those angles, staying there, and landing big power shots. Not in for us as MMA fighters, usually we get out of there and get a takedown. But for him, he's going to get those angles. Stay there, do damage, do work. If you do get there, that's a big if.
Well, I'll tell you, there is media from all over the world here at the Cobb Theater, here at the MGM Grand, all for this final press conference. I mean, I've met journalists from Australia, obviously guys from England, obviously
everywhere.
people from Ireland, all here just to see this fight and obviously hear what these guys have to say. The weigh-in comes your way on Friday. You don't want to miss that. And, of course, the fight will come your way Saturday. But a full house here of just journalists, this one not open to the public, all filled with journalists as we get ready for the final press conference of Mayweather versus McGregor, what they're calling the money fight here.
Here comes the money.
Here comes the money because there's going to be a lot on the line. Some of the participants have already taken the stage here. The commission has taken the stage, and so now we just wait for the fighters. Conor McGregor is here. They tell me, obviously, Floyd Mayweather is here. He got here a good 30 minutes ago. So now they're just waiting for them and their camps. Dana White is here.
Yes.
We've seen Dana White from
president.
the UFC president. He's here as well. And, you'll hear from all of these guys. You'll hear from Leonard Ellerbe, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, from Dana White, the president of the UFC. And listen, I give both of those guys. Those guys have done a good job selling this fight.
Amazing job. Because again, a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's not a real fight." With Dana, what the UFC's done, and with Ellerbe, everyone's done a really good job of kind of.
Well, they managed to plant that seed of doubt for some. You're right.
But
Kudos.
you can't do that unless Conor had the
something to back
it up.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to hear from those gentlemen as well. So a number of different people you hear, but of course everybody wants to hear again from Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, and both of those guys, of course, will give us their take here. And then as soon as it's done, don't forget we will interview the fighters as well. So we'll get their last words here as they get ready for the weigh-in.
So at the weigh-ins now, does Floyd out Floyd Conor and come 2 hours later? How's this work? Dude, you guys better have some material come Friday, man. I need full-blown material. I don't know how he's going to do it, man.
I was told this would be 15 minutes today.
And, you know, the interesting thing, too, is to see just what these guys look like, because that's what you want, that intensity of the face-off, especially when that weigh-in.
If you follow Instagram, if you follow this whole kind of thing going on Instagram, I've never seen Conor look better, man. I've never seen Floyd look better.
He's the master.
I saw Floyd at 40. I was like, good God. I saw Conor. I'm like, what is going on here? And that's when I'm like, we got to fight.
Yeah.
We got to.
two
Both these
world-class
guys
athletes.
they're in their phenomenal shape, man.
You could say whether you won, whether or not, you know, Floyd Mayweather thinks this will be an easy fight, whether Conor McGregor thinks it's an easy fight. These guys are in shape, and they are ready. So with that, let's go to the dais and the stage. It's the final press conference of Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor.
While we wait for the fighters to join us, I'll get started. Welcome. We are here at the spectacular Car Theater inside the beautiful MGM Grand here in Las Vegas. Mayweather versus McGregor has generated and captured the imagination of fans across the world, and this is going to be a historical event. This is a fight demanded by the fans and put together for the fans. Both fighters are expected to undoubtedly test their skills in a fight that no one thought would remotely be possible, and it will be talked about and seen around the world for years to come, and what this will be a historical event. Our event is promoted by Mayweather Promotions, sponsored by Corona, and produced live by Showtime pay-per-view. We encourage the fans to order this event as early as possible because we expect the demand for this event to be overwhelming come fight day. So order now. In addition to the live event here at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, our fight will be made available for select theaters around the world in a must-see event. We're making our event available on every possible platform, normally through the traditional pay-per-view channels, digital platforms, apps, smart TVs, gaming consoles, movie theaters, bars, and restaurants, so the fans across the world will have access to our event from virtually anywhere. Floyd has made the MGM his home since 2007, with many historical events taken here at the MGM Grand. The MGM has expanded and introduced a new development, the T-Mobile Arena, that will open its doors to this highly anticipated event on Saturday night. I'm honored to introduce a man who I consider a great fan and who's done so much for Floyd Mayweather's career. So without further ado, I'd like to call up the President and Sports of Entertainment for the MGM Resorts Invitational, Richard Stern.
Thank you very much, Leonard. Good afternoon to the media, our event partners, the sponsors, and all the great fans around the world watching today's event live online from the Car Theater at MGM Grand. Fight Week has finally arrived, and we are thrilled that it will be held at T-Mobile Arena, home of the biggest events in the sports and entertainment industry. In a little over a year, T-Mobile Arena has become the industry leader and home to some of the world's greatest athletes and entertainers. On behalf of our 77,000 employees and our T-Mobile Arena partners at AEG, I'd like to give a special thanks to Al Heyman and his staff, Leonard Ellerby and the Mayweather Promotions team, Dana White and the entire UFC staff, Stephen Espinoza and the Showtime sports crew, as well as Bob Bennett and the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Las Vegas and T-Mobile Arena will be the center of the sports universe for this great spectacle. We look forward to once again showing the world that we are the leader in entertainment. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. Thank you.
This next person has done a phenomenal job with keeping the fights in order here in Las Vegas. He's one of the toughest guys around, a guy who we enjoy working with, who's all for the health and safety and for the fighters in the sport of boxing, has just done such a remarkable job in the 3 years he's been sitting in this chair. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Executive Director of the Nevada Athletic State Commission, none other than Mr. Bob Bennett.
Thank you, Leonard, and good afternoon. On behalf of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, we'd like to thank the media for their comprehensive coverage of this historic and unprecedented event. The litany of telephone calls and interviews that I've had to do, all of you have been actually relentless. And I've done so many interviews, actually I'm tired of hearing myself speak, so I'll make this short. The state and the Nevada State Athletic Commission is very appreciative to Mayweather Promotions, excuse me, and CEO Leonard Ellerby and Zuffa President Dana White for bringing this fight to the fight capital of the world. As many of you know, this fight could have went to a number of other commissions and to other countries around the world, but they were able to bring it here. And we feel very fortunate that we will have the opportunity to regulate this fight. The commission looks extremely forward to regulating this fight. We embrace this opportunity, and we are trained, prepared, and ready to go to work. We would also like to recognize Richard Sturm from the MGM for hosting another elite fight. And of course, Steven Espinosa and Showtime for broadcasting this event, as well as the All Access programs, which I found to be second to none. They were very interesting. Thank you, Steven. And last, but probably most importantly, as many of you know, I'd like to thank the fighters, the two phenomenal fighters that are going to put on this historic event. If it wasn't for them, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Conor McGregor, none of us would be here today. So I thank you, and God bless.
This next person, he's been a brilliant leader in the sports community. He's done a phenomenal job with the resurgence of boxing. Boxing is at an all-time high right now because some of the outstanding matchups that have been made, and he's been the leader at the forefront in the face of Showtime Boxing, who has put on some phenomenal matches, just not only this year in 2017, but over the years, with Showtime Boxing being the face of boxing. So without further ado, a man who I consider a great friend, and he's our network partner, without further ado, none other than the Executive Vice President of Showtime Sports, Mr. Steven Espinosa.
Thank you, Leonard. It's a pleasure to be back here in Las Vegas, and especially at the MGM Grand, our host for this event. It's a first-class venue, a first-class staff. MGM Grand has a long history, a tradition of hosting big events, especially boxing. I really have to thank, as a fan of boxing, the MGM Grand for its long-standing support. Without the MGM Grand, boxing truly wouldn't be at where it's at today. So I thank Richard Sturm and all the executives there. Also must thank Bob Bennett. He hasn't been here quite as long as the MGM Grand, but he certainly has contributed very much to Las Vegas being the fight capital of the world. And like Las Vegas, Showtime pay-per-view is the home of big events. Over the last several years, we've teamed up with MGM and Mayweather Promotions to bring fans the biggest fights, the most exciting fights, the most memorable events in sports history. Big fight after big fight, record-breaking event after record-breaking event. Events that the world watches, events that make history. Big events, and there is no event bigger than this one. The two biggest stars in combat sports, the two biggest personalities in sports, two once-in-a-generation talents in one once-in-a-lifetime event. This will be the most widely distributed pay-per-view in history, whether that's sports or any other type of pay-per-view. That's hyperbole. That's not hyperbole. That's fact. We have more international distribution than any combat sports in history. Currently, this event will be distributed in over 200 countries. By the time we're all done, that might be closer to 225 countries. That's much broader distribution than Mayweather-Pacquiao and virtually every other sporting event in combat sports that we have on record. It is more widely distributed, as Leonard detailed, technologically through a variety of platforms. Our distribution in closed circuit outlets has set a new record, both in terms of revenue and the breadth of the distribution. And so we are well on our way to being a record-setting event in many categories. As Leonard recommended, I will recommend the same. Order early, buy early, avoid the rush on Saturday. We do expect unprecedented traffic with our cable, satellite telcos, and digital providers. So to be safe, please encourage everyone to get out and order early. Thank you.
This next person, he's brilliantly led the WBC boxing for many, many years, along with his great father, the great Jose Suleiman. He's done a great deal for the sport of boxing. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Mauricio Suleiman.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you for the woo. I am very, very excited. I'm very proud to be here with so many journalists, media members from all over the world, to be at the MGM, the greatest mecca of boxing, at the Nevada Commission, with Mr. Richard Stern, and with SHOWTIME, who has been creating history in the recent years. This is an event that has captured the attention of the world. And I am here just as my father, Jose Suleiman, would be here to be in the corner of the boxer. This is an event where two different sports meet in the ring with boxing rules, and I know that Saturday night boxing is going to be in the eyes of millions and millions of people around the world. The WBC has had in Floyd Mayweather the most loyal champion in our history. He conquered 5 titles in 5 different divisions, has won the diamond belt, the gold belt, the emerald belt. And in order to celebrate this great event between the WBC champion, the WBC hero, the UFC hero, Conor McGregor, the WBC has created the money belt. This belt has maybe I talk too much. 3,360 diamonds, 600 sapphires, 300 emeralds, 1.5 kilograms of solid 24-karat gold, and alligator leather that comes from Italy, from the Ital hide. And it is my pleasure just to present for the winner of this fight, the money belt. Maybe they can, you want to hold it with your, maybe in the front? Yeah, go ahead. You hold it from each side. As you can see, it's one full crocodile, and the medallion is not centered in order to preserve the style of the alligator. And I just like to wish Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, the best of luck. And I'm very happy, very, very proud to be here. Best of luck to everybody. Thank you.
We're waiting for the arrival of Conor McGregor before we introduce the fighters.
Brian Custer alongside Mauro Ranallo, Brendan Schaub. And you're taking a look at Leonard Ellaby. He's the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. And, guys, we talked about it at the top. You talk about tactics here. How about Conor McGregor? They're waiting for Conor McGregor.
The suspense is killing me.
You see that gator belt?
Hey, Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, may take some exception to that money belt, by the way.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm all about games and playing mind games.
But you got to be a
advantage.
professional.
Yeah, there comes a point where it's over the top, and
well,
this
speaking
is
of
too
which,
much.
Again,
So there's his son. There they are.
there's an entourage coming in, right?
Well, I see Conor's girlfriend or wife with their son. I see the
D
team.
and Conor Jr.
We're making some moves here.
Conor
Maybe
Jack.
it's traffic. You never know.
Well,
maybe it's
true.
traffic. I don't know, Brian.
It's not Brooklyn, bro. It's not Brooklyn, bro.
Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
And you can see the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellaby, is just standing there waiting as in the crowd here, the entourage of Conor McGregor is now seated. Dana White is now entering, and he's getting ready to have his seat. He is now just taking the seat. You see him there in the black T-shirt. Of course, the president of the UFC. So he is now just arrived on the stage, and they are waiting for Conor McGregor to make his entrance. And as soon as he does, Floyd Mayweather will come out, and then you will hear from Dana White, Leonard Ellaby, and they will introduce their fighters.
You tell
This
me.
is a
you
calm
tell
before
me
the
no
storm
one.
in many ways.
You tell me no one in Conor's camp go, man. I get being 30 minutes late, but over an hour, I don't. Like, we got to draw the line somewhere, my man.
Absolutely.
You need someone to get in his ear.
Absolutely.
Even Floyd's going, this is too much.
Yeah.
This is too much.
He
goes, I've been late before, but this is too
and there
much.
he comes.
Mystic Max World, we're all
Powerful
residing in
suit.
it. There he
Here
is,
comes
and it's always sartorially splendid.
Conor McGregor
Resplendent in that suit.
has finally entered the building and walks on the stage there as he takes with Jose Suleiman and the WBC. And now we'll wait for Floyd Mayweather, and now he walks onto the stage.
In a suit. First time we see him in a suit.
And we should finally get this press conference Officially started. So here is Leonard Elby again of Mayweather Promotions as we begin the press conference.
This next gentleman, he's been an industry leader. He's been the face of their sport, and he's definitely been the face of their organization from day one. He's done nothing but a brilliant job from the very, very beginning of his inception. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce none other than the president of UFC, Dana White.
Thank you all so much for your support. Thanks for coming out for this fight. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, the 155-pound champion of the UFC, the notorious Conor McGregor.
Not by you anyway, you little fool, whoever you are. Hello, everybody. Exactly. Tell that bitch to shut his mouth. Carry yourself with class, mate. Our paychecks will stop coming. We're here now. A couple days out. There's been a lot of these crazy press conferences. This is a lot more subdued, a lot more business-like, the way I like it, sometimes. I just want to say I'm very happy with how the camp has gone. Everything has gone absolutely amazing. I'd like to give a shout out to my team, Coach Kavanagh, Coach Owen Roddy, everyone that's been involved in the camp, my cardiovascular coaches in the McGregor Fast Conditioning Program. We are prepared for 12 3-minute rounds of non-stop pace, and I will go forward and I will put the pressure on him and break this old man. Trust me on that. We are more than ready. However, 8-ounce gloves, he made a big error in my opinion. I don't see him lasting 2 rounds. I feel I will have the decision to end it inside 1. He told you to shut up. Good bitch. Yeah, look, he messed up with them 8-ounce gloves. It was amusing all that as well, but I'm very, very happy with the 8. We usually fight in 4. We're going to fight in 8. Keep your hands up, keep your hands down. I don't care. I'm going to break through whatever's in front of me. And that's it. Thank you all. I really appreciate the support from everybody back home, all over the world. It's been very humbling and motivating to me. That's why I've put in the work. You see the work put in from me compared to him in this camp. I've taken this very seriously. I've had referees in camp. I've taken the Marquess of Queensberry rules very seriously, and I will go out and I will perform. I'm not going to look to implement anything. I'm going to outbox this man at his own game. That's how skilled and how much of a different level I am to him. So that's no problem. That's no problem. We can bet the purse. There you go. Right, so that's it. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to fuck this boy up. Make no mistake. And when it's all said and done, you know what? I'm going to feel a little bit sad because you should have all kept your mouth shut. You should have left me over on that other game that I'm from, that more ruthless game where we bounce heads off the canvas and drill them into the floor. You should have left me where I was because this man is not on my level. He's not even a quarter of the man I am. So we're going to see, and and you're all going to eat your words in there. So thank you all. I appreciate it. I look forward to Saturday night.
No introduction. Without further ado, the 12-time world champion in 5 different weight classes, none other than Floyd Money Mayweather.
First, I would like to, I want to thank God for putting me in this position. I want to thank my team. I want to thank my father. I want to thank my family. I want to thank the MGM Grand. I want to thank Showtime. I want to thank CBS. I want to thank Al Heyman. I've been here so many times, and I know what it takes when it's a fight of this magnitude. I want to thank the social media. I want to thank the different media outlets for covering this event. And, you know, I want to touch on a certain subject. You know, a lot of times we come to these press conferences, we need to conduct ourselves in an orderly fashion, because when it comes down to it, it comes down to the two fighters. You know, everybody can talk about betting, everybody can talk about what is going to happen, what is not going to happen. At the end of the day, it comes down to me and the guy that I'm competing against. I had a tremendous training camp, you know, a very, 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 very great training camp. You know, we had different guys that give me different looks, and I appreciate that. You know, to be in the sport, just period, a combat sport, no matter if it's MMA or boxing, we're fighters at the end of the day. To be in the sport 21 years, I had to take it extremely serious. And for you guys to think that Saturday I'm not taking this serious, I'm taking this extremely serious. But the thing is this, when it's all said and done, I know one thing that I can do. I can fight. I can give it, and I can take it. But for me to be 49-0, it's obvious I'm not receiving it, I'm giving it. The best hotel in the world is the MGM Grand. I take my hat off to Richard and your staff. You know, for 21 years, you guys have treated me with the utmost respect and gave me 5-star treatment. So I want to say thank you. What else? Dana White, you've done a tremendous job. I've been knowing you 21 years. And when I say Bullenbeiser, no one knows what that is but me and you. You know, 21 years. Conor McGregor had a hell of a career, still got a hell of a career. He's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a fighter. He's a stand-up guy. He's a tough competitor. It's not going to be an easy fight. It's going to be blood, sweat, and tears Saturday. That's what we're here to get the fans, and that's what we want to get the people all around the world. Mauricio Suleiman, I want to say thank you so much to the WBC. When I was a kid, it was always one of my goals was to be the world champion, the WBC world champion, and I want to say thank you. To the Nevada Boxing Commission, the best boxing commission in the world, I want to say thank you for always giving every fighter, whether it's an MMA fighter or a boxer, a fair chance. There's no commission like the Nevada Boxing Commission. And to the media all around the world that's covering this event, thank you. I appreciate it, as well as Conor McGregor and his team. I'm pretty sure he had a tremendous training camp. Now it comes down to the two competitors. It comes down to me and Conor McGregor going out there, displaying our skills, and giving the fans what they want to see. And that's what it's really about. The best fighting the best. He's the best at what he do. I'm the best at what I do. But when it's all said and done, Conor McGregor is like myself. In the octagon, he's undefeated standing up. He can do a lot of this, I can do a lot of this, but it comes down to the skills. And it comes down to us fighting and competing and giving you guys what you want to see. I've been here plenty of times. Guys say, oh, I'm going to go to the body on Mayweather. I'm going to hit him with the right hand. I'm going to hit him with the left hook. After 21 years, I've been hit with everything, and I'm still right here. One thing that you must know about the sport of boxing and about combat sports, remember, if you give it, you must be able to take it. So, with that being said, out of 47 opponents that I faced, they say, oh, he got brittle hands. Oh, he's a scared opponent. He's a scared guy. Listen, last time I checked, nobody is walking me down. It's called smarts. It's called having an IQ. It's called having patience. And from day one, everything that my dad taught me, from day one, I still know to this day. Every combination that was taught to me, I know. And any and everything in boxing that can be done, I've done it. Not just once, not just twice, 1,000 times. I was born a fighter, I would die a fighter. August 26th, he's going to bring his best. And it's not going to be easy, Conor. It's not going to be easy. Remember, Pacquiao got bombs. Canelo got bombs. Shane Mosley had bombs. And all those guys are going in the Hall of Fame. But one thing about me, I got a granite chin. But remember this, the same way you give it, you have to be able to take it. Remember this. I just really want to thank you guys, everybody that's in this room, for covering this event. And I couldn't do this in a better city than Las Vegas. This city has been unbelievable to me. This city has treated me with nothing but open arms. And to my family, thank you. I love you all.
Before we pose the fighter, we'd like to take a couple questions from the media.
Floyd, after 21 years in the fight game, this is a farewell fight in a lot of ways for you. What does this fight mean to your legacy, and how do you want to go out as a fighter?
I mean, I just, competing against the best. That's what it's about. Taking chances. What better city than Las Vegas than take a chance? The city is built on gambling. I'm taking the gamble, but it's worth it.
Conor, Floyd says he could make the biggest bet of his life on himself for this fight. Are you going to bet on this fight for yourself?
Sorry, say that again?
Floyd says he may make the biggest bet he's ever made on himself for this fight. Are you going to bet on yourself in this fight, and how much?
I'm not. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I certainly know I'm going to win. I certainly know that. I think he has a big-time gambling problem from seeing him. He gambles on half times and things like that. He shows what his wins are, never shows what the losses are. Maybe that's why he's in this position he is in, and he had to take this fight. So, look, I'm focused on the fight, not gambling.
Thank you.
A message for Conor McGregor here. Very strong message from Floyd Mayweather, Conor, in his speech that it's not how you give it in boxing, but how you take it. How do you respond to that he's indicating that you're not going to be able to take his punches when you two are in exchanges?
I've come through shin bone. You ever had a shin bone bounce off your cheekbone? You ever come through that? You know what I mean? That's the game I come from. So they can say what they want. I've come through a lot tougher than any of these have come through. So we are prepared. And like I said, I am prepared for the 12 3-minute rounds of insane pace, crazy fight. I'm ready for that. I just do not believe that he can give that. So.
And Floyd, in the whole build-up to this, given that what's been laid out about your career, your economic impact on boxing, the incredible career you've had.
I can't really hear you.
Given what you've heard all the way through the build-up to this fight from Conor, do you feel underlying he doesn't respect your skills?
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, what a fighter or a guy that's competing against me say before he get in there. It's different. It's different. You can say whatever you want to say when you're on the outside. Once you get inside that square circle, it's totally different.
Conor, you said you've had
Come closer to the mic, please.
Hey, Conor, you said you've had a great camp. If the fight goes how you hope it will go, could this be a career change? I mean, there's been talk this is a one-time deal. Could you perhaps switch careers and,
The fight business is the fight business. Rule sets or any of that does not, I can go into any rule set. That's what a true martial artist can do. I'm skilled in many forms of fighting. Truly skilled in many forms. So after I get victory on Saturday night, I will most certainly be looking to compete in both sports. I was joking, but I was actually thinking about it. Maybe going forward, since I'm the king of the boxing ring and the king of the octagon already, well then maybe when I've conquered both, maybe I might just create my own hybrid of an octagon and a boxing ring or something, and have one bang in the middle of both of them. And if anyone wants to come and challenge me, it must be in my octagon or whatever way we come up with. But we'll see what happens. But I'm an active fighter. I enjoy it. I don't stop thinking about fighting. So most certainly when this one is done, I'll have about 20 seconds where I'll be like, I'll relish in victory, but then I'll be like, who's next? So that's just the way I've always been. And I just turned 29 years of age. I'm still very young in my career, so I will be looking to compete all over the place.
And one more question. Has this changed the way that you approach future things? The power that you have has a draw. I mean, it doesn't seem like you're going to fight for a percentage of many more. It seems like you need some kind of a ownership. So does this change anything?
It's all about levels. You go from one level to the next level to the next level. So I've been continually climbing up the ranks, from fighting on the prelims to on the main card to in the main event to world titles to multiple world titles to co-promoting. So we are climbing levels, and we have a great partnership with the people I'm involved with, and let's see where it goes. But the sky is most certainly the limit.
Now we will pose to fighters.
And that brings about the end of the final press conference before this once-in-a-lifetime clash Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view, as Floyd Money Mayweather, coming out of retirement after 2 years, 49-0, will welcome Conor McGregor, the mixed martial arts superstar, the only UFC fighter to win 2 titles in 2 divisions simultaneously. And Brendan, Brian Custer, by the way, we're going to be talking to Floyd. Let's go to Brian Custer right now, Brendan. Sorry.
Let's do it. Profound when you talked about, so if you're going to give it, you better be able to take it. So what was the message you were giving to Conor?
I'm just saying, a lot of times, you got guys always talking about what they're going to do, what they're going to give, how they're going to be aggressive. But you also have to realize You know, it's two sides to everything. So the same way you're talking about giving it, hopefully you can be able to take it also. So that's what I was talking about.
You know, talking about gamesmanship, he was almost an hour late.
Almost 2 hours late.
How much did that upset you? I mean, it's the final press conference before the biggest fight of his career.
Well, I don't really worry about that. You know, it's all about being a professional. With age comes wisdom. I'm a lot older, so I know it's about being responsible. I have to be here on time because there's a lot of young fighters out there that look up to me, and I want to, me myself, you know, I want to set an example for those young guys that's coming behind me that you have to be on time.
The only thing I took away from his speech was he said, I got the 8-ounce gloves. He made a mistake there. He's going to be in trouble. A lot of people have talked about that. Your thoughts on using the 8-ounce gloves?
Majority of my career, I fought the toughest competition in 8-ounce gloves. So we'll just see how the fight plays out come Saturday.
It's going to be your last fight.
Yeah.
What do you want that legacy to be once it's all said and done?
You know, I'm not here to rate myself. You know, if I was to rate myself, of course, I'm TBE.
Right.
But my job is to go out there and just be the best that I can be.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so there you have it. You heard it from Floyd Mayweather. Mo, back to you.
Thank you very much. And Brendan, before we went to the interview, a very business-like press conference.
Yes.
Were you surprised?
I wasn't. It's a lot more serious. It's close to fight time. You know, I think Floyd, this is his last hurrah, and it's kind of almost sad to see, but he's very historic. He's all business, isn't he?
Well, both of them. And what quote stuck out for you? What was it that that stuck out from Floyd Mayweather and then from Conor McGregor?
Yeah, for Floyd, when he goes, you got to be able to take it. You can give it, you got to be able to take it. And he goes, I've competed some of the best in the world, and I've taken it. I've also dished. I'm 49-0 for a reason. He's really emphasizing on he's beating the best in the world. We know you're a heavy hitter, Conor. I've faced heavy hitters before. Let's see if you can solve this problem, which 49 other guys couldn't do.
I like the face-off. The picture says 1,000 words. You have Floyd Mayweather as stoic, and there's the guy who believes he is maybe the modern-day Bruce Lee, and Conor McGregor showing where he's from. But again, 12 3-minute rounds under the Marcus of Queensberry rules, 8-ounce gloves. Conor McGregor coming into the ring of truth, and will he pass the test?
Yeah, I think, you know, when you say pass the test, there's multiple tests he has to pass. You know, does he win over 12 rounds? Probably not, but he's going to have his spots, and does he capitalize? Does he get Floyd out of there? It's a tough test, but it's going to be exciting.
All right, I know you'll be a part of the coverage tomorrow for the undercard press conference right here at the Koth Theater at the MGM Grand. And then again, it's coming down Saturday, August 26th, a once-in-a-lifetime sporting spectacle. Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, plus a 3-fight undercard, including 2 world championship fights. It's all coming your way Saturday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on Showtime pay-per-view.